And joining me this evening to talk about the threat some on-campus officers face is security consultant Mike Spicer. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. First of all, the officers that work on campus, do they follow the same guidelines as police officers on the streets?
Yes, they do. Of course, they follow local regulations as to the facility or school that they're guarding. But when it comes down to the bottom line, they are police officers.
But the officers on campus do face maybe some unusual challenges. What might some of those challenges be?
Well, they're playing a role of not only a police officer, but they're a mentor to a lot of these young children that are on campus. They also have a large volume of traffic that comes in, and you can imagine they can't screen every student. They would never get to class. So they
and they're all in close proximity, too, all of these people.
Correct. I recently visited Roosevelt High. I was there on business, and they ran me through like they did the students. They have a very strict access control visitor policy.
All right, so as far as the procedures go in a confrontation like this, what are the steps the officer has to follow? Although this officer, of course, was attacked, so that does change the situation for him, but what would be the appropriate steps be?
Absolutely, he would have to change roles. This is a deadly force situation. Officers have various levels of force they use, be it if they have a taser, I don't think so in this case, but baton or mace, pepper spray, and then the use of the weapon. It's obviously the officer escalated this to a higher level based on the threat.
And that is the question that we heard a little bit earlier from the family members tonight. Why couldn't he try the taser or some other form of reaction to this attack?
Well, it sounds like the information that I have received and the news media has received, that this was a sudden attack. The attacker in this case, unfortunately a student, took it to a higher level. The officer had no choice. Obviously, if you're hit in the head with a bat, you're a little dazed, you look around, another swing's coming at you. The officer, everybody's different, but it's obvious he was in fear of his life and he used his weapon. And
we heard Chief Dyer talk about that the officer reached for his secondary weapon because his other weapon was compromised. Can you explain a little more about what exactly that means? Well, some officers, I know in my 30-year law enforcement career, I've carried a secondary weapon down in the holster. Do all officers carry it? Not all. Some put it down in their ankle area or in a secondary location on their body. Fortunately, he had one, and he trained himself to use it in case his primary weapon became disabled for whatever reason. And what about for the parents who were obviously very concerned? As a parent myself, I sympathize with what they were going through, but the school has to follow a certain procedure, such as a lockdown, which is what happened today. Yes, they initiated a Code Red, which is their lockdown, immediately after for the protection of students. And it's a very well thought out plan. It's a very effective plan that they have there at Roosevelt High School. But a little unnerving for parents who are waiting for answers, obviously. Absolutely. If I was a parent there, I'd be concerned that maybe the student may have been a family member. All right, thank you so much. Mike Spicer, security consultant, we appreciate you coming and answering our questions tonight.